This is a rest in peace tribute to Biggie Small. Today is 26 years since his passing, and I wanted to reminisce and give y'all a little something about that. You know what I mean? From what how I felt and where I was at the time when it happened. Because we all think about where we was at, when different things in history happened, right or wrong. All right. All right, so this is what it is, man. Unique Mecca audio. All right, I'm going back, and I might be rambling back and forth, and I might touch on the street, the prison, with the night Biggie got killed or whatever. Just relax, because this is how we ride over it, Unique Mecca audio, man. When you in the car and you got 3, 4 people in the car with you, and, you telling the story and somebody jump in and, because it flashed back to something they remembered that they wanted to talk about and so on and so on. And then they go in. So the story goes a little off topic, but we always bring it back to the main topic by saying, fall back, nigga. I got the mic. You remember that saying? I got the mic. Because you tell the story, dude cut you off and he want to go somewhere else from where he going. But you got to remind him, yo, homie, you know what I mean? I got the mic, son. You know what I mean? Remember, I'm supposed to be the one on the mic. All right, so now the night Biggie Smalls died, leading up to it, I was in ADX Supermax when I found out that he passed. Now, when all this was going on with the East Coast, West Coast beef, I'm right in the center of the United States in the Midwest in ADX Supermax. That's where they got El Chapo at and, the Unabomber, King Blood, Larry Hoover, Pistol Pete. So that's where I'm at. So you can understand. I mean, I'm on 23-hour day lockdown supervision, and, but that's where all the shot callers and anybody who's everybody who want to be somebody that is somebody is at. All right. Big shout out to anybody want to be somebody. All right, round of applause. Round of applause to all the people that want to be somebody. Okay, relax. So now, I remember back in the day, when I used to drive down Myrtle Avenue, because, I used to be over there in the Bushwick section, over there in Crown Heights, East New York, moving around. But when I used to drive down Myrtle, and they used to have, little equipment set up on the sidewalk, I saw this little fat kid out there rapping, and he had a good flow, and he was just so charismatic and cool with it. He was bopping on the mic, and, He didn't do a whole lot of movement because he was big, but just, his delivery and everything was just phenomenon, So I invited him over to the Mecca a few times for him to come over. But at this time, even though I'm in Brooklyn and Harlem, keeping it 100, my old timers watching this know, Brooklyn and Harlem didn't get along like that. You understand what I'm saying? Because they got that old saying that they had, Chaos West One put it on a song, Manhattan make it, Brooklyn take it, and so on and so on. So that was the old thing. But I would keep it 100. Big shout out to Brooklyn because I was raised over in Crown Heights. Big shout out to Brooklyn, but I'm going to keep it 100. When they say that, that's because we used to go down on 42nd Street, And everybody met up there from all the different boroughs because they had a bunch of movie theaters that had the karate movies and things like that. So the Brooklyn dudes used to come over there like, 10, 15 deep. But when they're coming, looking to rob somebody. Big shout out to the robbers. Big shout out to the robbers and stick-up kids. You know what I mean? Big shout out. In other words, so let me give you a little visual the way I see it from, how I sat back then. It was more like the Brooklyn dudes was, coming to Manhattan, talking about 42nd Street, not talking about up in Harlem, but not disrespecting them, but just letting you know, we talking about 42nd Street, my old timers know. They go to 42nd Street, like about 10, 15 deep, and they going down there to see how they could come up. So if you got on a sheepskin coat, you understand what I'm saying? You got on a leather bomber, whatever, a shearling, whatever you got on that's worth a little $400-500, they're going to take that. They're going to take that. But now the only thing with that is this is a joke that we used to have. So I want my Brooklyn people taking it personal. Because like I said, I started out over there in Crown Heights between Sterling and Park over there on Schenectady. You know what I mean? But I'm just keeping it 100. We used to always say this over in Harlem. You know what I mean? And Brooklyn dudes might not like what I'm getting ready to say, but I'm gonna keep it 100. We're gonna get back to the Biggie Smalls situation, but we giving you the history of, Brooklyn and Manhattan, you know what I mean? Or really Brooklyn and Harlem back then. But I just want you to understand that when they were saying Brooklyn, take it, from Manhattan, they talking about down 42nd Street. They ain't talking about up in Harlem. Gunshots to Brooklyn. Gunshots to Harlem. You know what I mean? Gunshots to the Bronx. Now, that's what I'm saying. Oh, we can't forget Queens. Gunshots, and Staten Island too. But anyway, so we in the joint. Everybody used to come over there to Manhattan to go watch the movies down there on 42nd Street. We go watch the movies on 42nd Street. You know what I mean? This is where I was at, where I stopped to pause to give y'all an understanding, because I know this is a little touchy situation that y'all might not understand, but they got to agree what I'm talking about. You got Harlem dudes used to laugh at Brooklyn dudes. You understand what I'm saying? Because Brooklyn dudes used to come over there 10, 15 deep, beat a dude up, put him in a coma, and take his Sherlin. The Sherlin worth $500. You got 10, 15 dudes. How do you split a coat up between 10, 15 dudes? We used to always laugh with a saying in Harlem by saying, yeah, okay, we're going to give, Fuquan the left sleeve. We're going to give Powerful the right sleeve. And, we're going to give, Justice, the pockets. Like, how do you split up a coat that you taking amongst 10, 15 people? So that's why we used to always laugh and have fun and, just bug out, on that whole little era. But that was a good time in history. So this is before, Biggie came and, helped bridge the gap, with the boroughs. Because we didn't go to Brooklyn, and Brooklyn didn't really come up to Harlem. But I'm going to give shout out, because like I said, I keep it 100. Don't forget I told y'all the story. Go back, I don't remember what video number it was, but it's called The Rooftop. I told you about when I was outside the rooftop, just came home. I got on my red and white Todd One suit and all that, and I'm looking good with my troop sneakers and all that, looking good. And then here comes, a Brooklyn dude come ask me for a light. You know what I mean? I just come out of, out the joint and, serving a little 2-year state bid. And I'm standing in front of the rooftop, looking good, and dude come up, ask me for a light. Me and my dumb ass, I reach over to give him a light. When I go give him a light, this man came and punched me dead in my face. Boop. You know what I mean? Hit me so hard, I damn near passed out. You understand? Only thing stopped me from passing out is because I'm an old street nigga. Let's keep it 100. That dude grabbed my chain. When he grabbed my chain with my medallion, because the whole thing was a play for my chain. They was going to jack me for my chain. Dude punched me dead in the face like I was a old buster. You know what I mean? Grabbed me by my chain. But when he grabbed me by my chain, my instincts came alive that I'm never going to get robbed without going out like no fight, with a fight. So when I'm about to go down, I grab his hand and we wrestling, because the dude hit me so damn hard. You understand what I'm saying? And we out there fighting for the chain. You know what I mean? That was Brooklyn when they came up to Harlem. So I'm not saying they never did. You know what I mean? But all that they talking about, Manhattan make it, Brooklyn take it. They talking about down Midtown Manhattan, where you got all types of people coming up in there, and that's what they talking about. That's Manhattan they talking about they were taking it. They wasn't come to Harlem taking it. They came to Harlem and, tried to take it. Let's keep it 100. Give them all the props in the world. You know what I mean? Give him the props. Give him the props. Give him a gunshot. You know what I mean? Give him a gunshot. So that's what I'm saying. So they did come up to Harlem, you know what I mean, and try to make their move, but that was few and rare in between. And like I said, we fought back like any other thoroughborough, you understand, would do. But that's what that was about. So Brooklyn and Harlem didn't really get along. So I used to tell Biggie, yo, come on, man, you got to come over here to the Mecca and, you know what I mean, and get on the mic. I got my little man DL over there be putting his work in. My man Papa Sean be putting his work in. You know what I mean? I got nothing but official, you know what I mean, Harlem dudes that be, rapping on the mic, and we got the studio, and I invited him to come up there. He always said he was going to come, but keep it 100, he never came. You know what I mean? He never came up there. Now, he never came up there because, like I said, Brooklyn and Harlem didn't really get along, But like I said, I was raised in Brooklyn, so I was cool. You know what I mean? Going over to Brooklyn, I still had homies over there. I went there and did the joint with Johnny Mitchell from The Connect at YouTube. Go check out the documentary I got over there at The Connect at YouTube. You know what I mean? Something about, Kingpin in the title. But anyway, so we over there, and, when I'm in ADX and the East Coast, West Coast thing was going on, we used to have problems with a couple of dudes that was gang banging so hard that they felt like they was a part of the beef, even though they on the inside. And I always used to try and explain to them like, yo, my nigga, I don't know why you got an issue, or you looking at me like if you got an issue. because we in here buried with time. Ain't none of them out there thinking about us. So there's no reason in hell for us to be out here picking up the beef they got going on. But some dude was so, because remember, we talking about it, 96, 95, 96, you know what I mean? 97. I mean, those times, it was when gangbanging was at its fullest. Well, I'm talking about where, LA had the drive-bys going by vicious, you know what I mean? And, you couldn't go certain places wearing certain colors. You know what I mean? Just like now in Harlem, you wouldn't see no white person, Chinese person, Philippine, Asian, or anything you want to call them. It'd just be straight niggas. You understand what I'm saying? That's what I'm used to. That's what I left Harlem. I come home and I see all these mixed people around. So that's how it was in LA, where you couldn't wear a red hat through a blue hood. You know what I mean? So these dudes were taking it so serious. Let me give you one. I'm in Lewisburg. The first time I experienced, how tough these dudes was on that gangbang time was when I was in Lewisburg and commissary came. They had a Crip in there. And, we ordered our toothbrush and stuff like that. So the police grabbed the toothbrush and just throw one in the bag or whatever. He came and he brought the dude that was a Crip a red toothbrush. All hell broke loose in Lewisburg over an officer giving a Crip a red toothbrush. You know what I mean? That's how hard they was. I mean, this police tried to tell him, man, I'm not going all the way back to the commissary room to go change the color. What difference it make what color it is? Man, the dude said, what difference it make what color it is? He said, did you hear what I said? I said, don't put nothing red in here. Don't even put tomato paste. Don't even bring pizza on pizza day. You know what I mean? I don't want nothing red in my cell. You know what I mean? I'm straight crippin'. You understand what I'm saying? This is how hard they was. Dude wouldn't even take pizza on pizza day. You understand what I'm saying? Could you imagine that? I mean, I know this sounds funny. They tell me I should do a little stand-up comedy and all that. But, it ain't even so much about the comedy. It's just about the reality of what I seen. A man went off on the police because the police bought him a red toothbrush. And he cussed the police out. So he take the toothbrush and he flings it out the cell. And he said, and put my money back on my books. It was only like 89 cents. He said, put my money back on my books or bring me a blue toothbrush. You know what I mean? And the police said, man, I'm not bringing you nothing. You know what I mean? I gave you the toothbrush. You didn't want it. You threw it out the cell. There's your toothbrush. You know what I mean? So then the police come walking by the cell and dude grabs him by the keys. They got the keys on their waist. The little Crip homie, he grabs the police by the keys. He pulls them up by the keys and he reaches in the cell and he gets out. Man, I like my props. Let me get you something to show you what the little props look like. He pulls out a shampoo bottle. You know what I mean? We had a little shampoo in the bottle, had a little squirt top. He pulls out the shampoo bottle when he grabs it by the waist and he squirts the shampoo bottle. And he squirts feces all over his cop, in his face, on his chest, in his mouth. You know what I mean? And he's holding him by the keys and he can't get anywhere. And he's emptying this bottle in his face. You know what I mean? And he trying to reach down to hit his walkie-talkie to hit the deuces to call for help. But the police that was running the ticket, again, in Lewisburg, old jail where, everything, open by control. So the police that was waiting to open the joint, he sees it and he come running down there. So when he come running down there, he get the last of the feces in his face. Boop, you know what I mean? All this for bringing a red toothbrush to a Crip cell. Big shout out to the Crips. You know what I mean? Big shout out to the Crips. You know what I mean? Big shout out to the Crips. I'm not even gonna lie. That joint was funny as hell, man. I know y'all say that I'm dead wrong. Yeah, I'm an elder now, but I can look back at it and laugh, even though I laughed then too, But so that's how powerful it was, So now we had dudes that was that strong on their gangbanging that when the East Coast, West Coast thing was promoted, in the media, when that joint was promoted, these dudes, was picking it up like they was a part of it. You understand what I'm saying? So, blah, 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 blah. I'm not even going to get into certain things. I'm saying certain things for the full documentary. But now, I get word and I call Big, Gene Deal. Big shout out to Gene Deal, man. Big shout out to Gene Deal. Big shout out to Gene Deal. Let's give Gene Deal his props. Big shout out to Gene Deal. I know a lot of people don't like Gene Deal because he's speaking his truth. You know what I mean? No, I'm not going to go in depth in how I got word. I just want to really just touch on it so you understand. You know what I mean? Because, as a matter of fact, Cash App is on the screen. I don't care if it's $1, $5 or whatever. Show some love. You like the content on anybody's YouTube channel you go on. You show some love because the game is to be sold, not told. I don't care if it's $1, $5, or like Pretty Gangster said, $10 ain't going to hurt nobody. Now, so we up in the joint. So I make a phone call to Gene Deal. And as soon as he get on the phone, I couldn't talk long. And, I got to watch what's being said because you know where I'm at, blah, 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 and this and that. And, you know what I mean? I'm not going to tell you how I got in it and how we did it, whatever. But, we make moves when we in the prison to get calls across. We need to get calls across. And we do certain things at certain code. So the first thing I said to the, homie Gene Deal was, yo, don't go to Cali, vest up. You know what I mean? I didn't need to say nothing more. He know what that means. Don't go to Cali, vest up. They got a big war going on. We didn't have to say all that on the phone and go back and forth because when you're on the street, you know how to move. So now I already figured that Gene is going to get that to the proper places need to get. You know what I mean? Because Gene, whatever they say about Gene on YouTube, I say that's bull crap. You know what I mean? I say that's bull crap. I was on the streets of Harlem. You understand what I'm saying? I was on the streets of Brooklyn, the Bronx, and everywhere else. And, Gene was right there with us, even though he's a parole officer. You know what I mean? He ran with Slick and the family down there on 112th Street. Big shout out to Slick, the family, and rest in peace to Big Team. You know what I mean? But, so I knew Gene would get it to where it needed to go. So after I sent the word, I said, okay, cool, so I ain't even got to worry about it. Next thing I know, I'm laid back and, we just had local, matter of fact, we had cable. You know what I mean? When I first got the ADX, we had, what they call that, Cinemax and HBO. Man, that's like being in your cell, warm cell, you know what I mean? Watching Cinemax and HBO, and they didn't have no BET out then. That's how long I'm talking about. I've been locked up. They had no BET then, But they had Cinemax and they had HBO, TNT, and all the, the regular cable channels, but they didn't have that or MTV or none of that in the prison. But they didn't even have BET out at the time, but MTV was out, but we didn't have it in the prison. But anyway, so we hearing all this on the media. So I hear on a local radio station, and it came upon a national news that they was having a big saucer wars out in there, and, Biggie was supposed to be there. And I said, Biggie's supposed to be there, but didn't I tell my man Gene Deal to vest up? Nah, well, they probably just talking because they assumed he going to be there. So, I lay back down and, I watch my little Martin and Jamie Foxx and, things like that. You know what I mean? So I go watch my little Martin, Jamie Foxx, and I'm laying down and I, enjoy my night, do what I do, looked at a couple of Players magazines, look at the women, to get right and, enjoy my night while I lay back and, just reminisce about, somebody I was with like a nice, deep, warm throat. You know what I mean? Those are the things you do when you're in prison. Just to let you know, this ADX, man, so this is where we at, where our mentality at. If I tell the youth, you don't want to go there. You know what I mean? Because all we had was our memories, you know what I mean, of our sexual escapades and, our females, loved ones, family, and everything else. So you try to get a good memory, whatever you try to, enjoy to get your rest for the night. So I had a good, beautiful night. So now I wake up in the morning and I see on the news that Biggie Smalls was gunned down. How could Biggie Smalls be gunned down when I sent Gene Deal the word, nigga, don't vest up. But this is national news, so I knew it was true. So now I get back to the phone and I get on the phone and I call and I say, yo, what's going on? They say, oh my God, the female I called, she crying. She, oh yeah, they killed Biggie, they killed me. I said, oh man, and it hurt me so hard in my chest because I knew this little brother. You know what I mean? I knew this little brother from going through Brooklyn. You know what I mean? Just, the up and down Myrtle Avenue. I mean, and the craziest part and what hurt me the most is, and for me, yard man them out there, look, me, I chat about, him did a Jamaican. So, back then in the 90s, then, Jamaica make them stunts, as far as, being positive and, in everything. So we always say like salt and pepper, I think her name is Pepper. Pepper's Jamaican. You know what I mean? You say anybody got a little Jamaican in them, you claim them and you say that's why they who they are because they Jamaican. You understand what I'm saying? And, Biggie was one of those Brooklyn Jamaicans. Let me explain to you about how Brooklyn Jamaican is that come up, with a real, Jamaican parent. Now, like my aunt was like that. I had an aunt. Big shout out to Aunt Love, man. Big shout out to Aunt Love. Big shout out to Aunt Love. I had an aunt. All right, calm down, y'all. I had an aunt named Aunt Love, and she had twin sons, Dexter and Derek. I haven't even seen them since in the 70s. You know what I mean? Because when I used to go over there, they used to lock us in the house. You know what I mean? They used to literally lock us in the house so we couldn't go outside and said it was nothing but badness outside. We didn't need to go out. But me, I was already outside, but she kept Dexter and Derek locked in. I went to go visit her and Dexter and Derek, and now I had to stay locked in. And the funny thing is that just came to my mind is to show you how crazy it is. I used to go to sleep in the crib because they still had the crib there from Dexter and Derek. You understand what I'm saying? So I used to go lay down in the crib and hang my feet out the crib and just chill and eat popcorn and look at TV through the bars. Maybe that's why I wound up going to prison from looking at that TV through the bars in this damn crib. And psychologically, it led me back to that because I really enjoyed watching TV in that crib. I know that sounds a little sick, but that's for the youngest to understand. Don't go to prison, man. You know what I mean? Because it ain't worth it. Look at the crap that I'm telling you that I went through. I'm sitting there trying to figure out where did things get disconnected that I was able to survive 26 years in prison and still keep my sanity when a lot of other brothers, wasn't able to do the same. But anyway, so Biggie's Jamaican. So his mother didn't really used to let him out the house that much. So he had a lot of time to sit inside, play with himself, rap with himself, write with himself, study with himself, and do everything with himself. So once moms let him out, he was like an animal, you know what I mean? Set free in the jungle after being in a cage. And that's why he took over. And that's usually how Jamaicans are. Because our parents raise us as children and give us the direction they want us to go in. And then when we get of age, then they release us into the world and say, like, you take a bird and you say, fly, little bird, be free. You know what I mean? So that's how it was with that. So Biggie's Jamaican, so that's why that really hurt me so much. At that time, anybody that had Jamaican in them, Jamaicans would claim, "I'm a Jamaican, that's why I'm do so good. I'm a Jamaican, that's why I'm so successful." We claimed it for everything. The same way, we claim, oh, he from Harlem, that's why that's why he raps so good. He from Brooklyn, that's why he raps so good. He from Tennessee, he from Memphis, he from wherever. But you represent who you are, where you from, because, you know what I mean? It's where you at. So when I found out Biggie died, man, fellow Jamaican is somebody that I knew in person, I mean, I hollered down, the next day we went to rec and I told my man, Delroy, Delroy Uzi is what I'm talking about. Like I said, me and Delroy Uzi was locked up in ADX at this time, during the same time. So I tell Delroy, I said, yo, them killed the look of you. How am I going to kill after you, sir? And there I said, well, I'm supposed to know him not for go out there. When y'all do bad boy things, you dip on them things there. You can't go mix up with certain people and certain things and go certain places and think say everything will go be all right. See? So, I saw Delroy look upon it, but, I remember Delroy old youngster. Delroy doing like 600 years and, a couple of life sentences, but he was one of the first Jamaicans to get the RICO, in New York City. Big shout out to Delroy. That's my brother, man. Got to give him a round of applause. Got to give Delroy. Come on. Got to give Delroy a round of applause. So that's where that was at. But now it hurt me so hard that me and Delroy talking about it, and then we talk about how the look of youth, them gonna get so much money and don't understand what's going on, that now they're in a different, environment, and they made it. So we didn't understand why they was doing some of the things they was doing, especially like Tupac. Tupac, my man. Let me give you one about Tupac real quick, then I'm going to tap out because I don't want to be up here too long. I'm just trying to show you what I'm dealing with. Now, Tupac used to love to be with my little man, Mo Grime. Mo Grime and Tupac look alike physically. And then, this when the bandanas was all out with tying the bandanas around the head and all that with certain youngins and the bald head. Cause I remember these guys in their early 20s and they wearing their hair bald. Now we wear our head bald because we had so much stress from being in federal prison. We done lost our damn hair or it done turned gray. You know what I mean? But he used to wear his bandana like Tupac. And Tupac looked just alike. So one day, Tupac come up there and we hanging out. And I take them for a ride and we shoot down 125th Street. We had a party in Club 2000 that night. So, whoever I'm with, I'm shopping for. You know what I mean? That's how it is when you get money and you the king. You know what I mean? Whoever I'm with, I'm shopping for. So I got Tupac and my man with me, and we roll up in the Foot Locker, and, they picked out their little kicks and all that. So I bought the little kicks, and, we leave, and we wanted to get something with some colors and all that. I got a picture of all this. Like, I got a picture of this night and all this. All y'all jumping on, he faking. Now you faking. Nigga, go to another channel, find somebody else because you're dealing with the real deal. But anyway, so we shot over to Dr. J's over there on 7th Avenue, and we ran up in there. They got these hoodies and some, I think some car canal pants or whatever. But we got the vests. We got some colored leather vests. Cause I got that, I can't even say it. I mean, I'm getting a little emotional even thinking about the homie Tupac passing like that. But we got some leather vests, we got some leather vests from Kool-Aid. If y'all was, on the street back then, from here to Virginia, from here to Atlanta, y'all know Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid used to have all the like this fly leather jacket. That's why I wore this jacket today. You know what I mean? This jacket right here, you know what I mean, was a jacket that Kool-Aid had. You know what I mean? He had something similar to this. You see the little green collar and all that, you know what I mean? And the crazy thing is, just to show you how fly we was, I like the way the Kool-Aid jacket was, but it wasn't, I wasn't going to wear it somebody else wear it. You know what I mean? But anyway, so I copped the two of them, a couple of vests from Kool-Aid. But you see this here, this collar, you know what I mean? I don't know if you can see it. This collar comes off. I got this custom made by my man Dapper Dan. This is Dapper Dan joint that I wanted without the label and names on it and all that. So, the collar come off and turn into a regular little baseball jacket. But you can put the collar on because, sometimes I might want to put my collar on and pull my hat down to the brim and grab my 9mm and go wet something up because they violated the hustle. You know what I mean? So that's why I got the collar made. If I know I'm going out of, and doing jokes, I throw the collar up like I'm doing right now. You know what I mean? But it's really a baseball jacket. And, I got the little yellow and black because, that's my color, even though that's Latin King's colors. But, I get along with everybody so I can wear whatever, wherever I want, however I want, do what I want because I would supply most everybody. So it was all love. So when I go to Latin King neighborhood, I throw on something like this and I roll over there representing them. You know what I mean? But now, when Biggie, when we went up to Club 2000 that night, the two of them, Mo and my man Tupac, were looking so good in their little matching outfits. You know what I mean? Wasn't matching, but I think Tupac had on the green vest and Mo had on maybe the yellow vest. You know what I mean? Because back then we was dealing with what they call cross colors. Cross colors where they used to cross a bunch of bright ass colors. You know what I mean? Like red, yellow, green. That was the main colors. Cause of course them have to represent the Yardman them. So that's where that come from. Saying big shout out to Carl Kanai. You know what I mean? And cross colors. But anyway, so we up in the joint that night, and Tupac kept saying, "Man, let me get on the mic. Let me get on the mic." But and y'all gonna cuss me out and say I'm a piece of shit. You know what I mean? I don't mind. Say it, I'm a piece of shit. But I'm like, come on, little nigga, you ain't getting on no damn mic. It's my club, my show. I do my goddamn thing. And I got the mic and I'm yelling the same shit over and over. Make a audio, keep it going. Make a what? Make a who? You know what I mean? All right, y'all. All right, y'all. But that was the highlight of the party, and that's why they came there. They didn't come there to see no damn rappers. That's why when rappers come, they 9 times out of 10, they'll pay me to get on. You understand what I'm saying? But, when you're official like Brand Nubian, I paid Brand Nubian to get on. I paid, what's that other boy to get on? Geronimo. They had that joint, I Need a Gangster Bitch. You understand what I'm saying? Very few people I paid, but you know what I mean? But, I had to represent with Brand Nubian because they was family. They used to come hang out to Mecca Audio, smoke weed with us, buy weed with us, be there for the mixtapes, and their official stamp of, Mecca Audio. That's why they used the Mecca Audio store on the front of their cover. I think it called maybe Love Me or Leave Me Alone. You know what I mean? Because that's how my personality was. That's how my mentality was. Either you love me or you leave me the hell alone. You understand what I'm saying? So that's where we at. So now let's bounce back to Biggie. So I had experience of being with both of these young guys. So when I'm in Lewisburg and I seen them in the Source together, I felt real proud to see them together because these were two good little youngins that I knew was going to make it, And, Biggie up in there and Tupac in the magazine, I'm looking and I'm, the homies bringing the magazine, they show me, look, these rappers. And, they fascinated, the people from different states that was there. Because we had the Source magazine back then, and the write-on and all that. But in the Source, they had a little write-up on them. And everybody trying to talk about it. I said, man, that's my little homies. And they're like, man, you don't know them, you don't know them. I said, nigga, New York this goddamn big, man. You know what I mean? And one day it's going to be tighter than fish pussy. You know what I mean? Where, ain't nobody going to be able to get in there other than if you from New York and we all going to mix in the boroughs. But at that time, Harlem and the Bronx didn't go to Brooklyn to go hang out. You understand? And, vice versa. The same thing like with D.C. You know what I mean? D.C. and Harlem, D.C. and New York, period, was beefing hard back in the day. And Baltimore. They didn't like us out-of-towners going over there. But now you go down there, here we go 30 years later, a lot of our people don't settle down. You know what I mean? Started families down there, relocated down there, and, made kids and all that. And we are part of it. But back in the day, they was trying to fly our tops. Let's keep it 100. You know what I mean? DC and Baltimore was trying to fly our tops. You know what I'm saying? So that's why a lot of people didn't understand how I got along with them so good. Because when I went down there, I made sure everybody ate who I dealt with. And if something went down, I knew what I had to do, and they did what they had to do. And if something go wrong, you already know what it is. We wear our own weight. Ain't nobody telling on nobody. But let's go back. Remember I told you we riding. So let's go back. So now I'm in ADX and I find out about Biggie and everybody's talking. And believe it or not, man, even the California dudes that was there, you know, it was like mixed emotions, you know, but they didn't really know who Biggie was, but they was like, you know, some was cheering, with literally like cheering that, you know what I mean, they got him. And then here it goes, a little bit later, you know, then Tupac get hit. And that's when I knew it was a sad time in America, man. I knew it was a sad time in America, and I'm sitting in the cage watching this whole thing, you know, flip and explode and revolve. I mean, I had a real good friend, you know, he was a Crip though. I had a good friend that was a Crip when I was in ADX. You know, I lost contact with him. He was from Grape Street. He was a Grape Street Crip, you know, Young Maine. You know, anybody know where Young Maine at? Tell them to holler at me. But speaking of that now, freejimmyfingers.com. My man Jimmy Fingers got 3 life sentences, 600 years. We got him a change.org set up. He been in from he was 22. He's going on 50. Got change.org. All you got to do to sign the petition is just text somebody or text yourself, you know, freejimmyfingers.com. His picture come up, his whole, you know, change.org come up. You can learn about his case, see him and his family, and sign the petition for the big brother, man. You know, Cash App on the screen. Don't forget me over there. You know what I mean? You like the content. You like what's going on. I mean, come on. You know, let's keep this thing moving. You know, hit the like button, or at the very least, hit that emoji. You know, I love when my people do the emoji to show that we communicate with each other. Hit that emoji. But now I've been on here long enough. I like the way I'm doing this because I've been on here 31 minutes, going on 32 minutes. But it was a sad time, man. I just want to say rest in peace to Biggie. I just wanted to tap in, man, and, you know, it hit, man, I don't even want to say it about history, family, because, you know, I think we did good enough the way we is. But anyway, I just want to let it be known, man, that's what it is. So I'm getting ready to put this up. I'm going to show you some pictures in this with me and my team after 26 years. Majority of the people in there, you know, done did decades, but we home now and able to party together. We you know, we off parole. Like I said, I got off parole, you know, the other day. I'm doing good, you know. I mean, got a little note. So, you know, let's make it happen and keep this going. You know, so I just want to tell y'all thanks for tuning in. Rest in peace to Biggie. Play Biggie Small music today, man. Play Biggie Small music today and share his video and things like that. All right, so don't forget. Mecca what? Mecca audio. All right, that's how we doing it, man. We out.
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
What?
Fresh out the can of 26, yeah. He back on the strip, getting back in the mix. Yeah. What he mentions a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Real. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit. Yeah. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Real. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca audio. Get it live like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was whining. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spend a couple bands on the Dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a roaring uptown. They be horn uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, we got a lot to give. Now he trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend a ear. He started in uptown, he gon' finish dead. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community ours. So we can give back to the youth them. Cause they the truth them. And bless up to all the road men.